hitting a plateau, boom. All of a sudden, I can't, they say, lose weight anymore. I'm just stuck. What do you think's going on? What can I do? Every time that I've said do a liver cleanse, it has moved things forward.
Welcome to another episode of the Matter Over Mind Experience. I'm your host, Master Trainer, and Weight Management Expert, Narado Zico Powell. And I got something to confess. See, I get a lot of emails like throughout the month that people ask to be on the show. And sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no, because I'm very particular about the people that I bring to my wonderful audience, right? And this person that I have here didn't even reach out to me. I saw her Instagram and I said, wow, you have a boatload of fantastic information, right? So I said, yes, please. You're not coming to me. I'm begging you to please come on the show because she's going to talk about juicing. Yes, I have my new friend in health, Sherry Calbum. And she also has a fantastic book, right? Check this out. Everybody can see it. We call her the Juice Lady. The Juice Lady's Guide to Juicing for Health. Check it out. We're going to talk about the book a little bit as well and where you can get a copy of this. So you know where I'm going with this. What we're going to talk about, juicing and the benefits of juicing for our health, along with how can you begin? Because people may say, okay, I hear that juicing is great, but how do I start juicing? Well, first, get the book. And then two, listen to some stuff what we're going to talk about, or watch what we're going to talk about, and then get the book, whichever order you want to do it. But here, Sherry, thank you so much for being here. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Zico, for inviting me on your show. My favorite topic, of course, juicing. I've been juicing for a long time. It's changed my life. It's changed so many people's lives that I've worked with. So I'm just very excited to get right into the subject and help your audience to experience better health,
Juicing
fitness.
is your favorite topic. Who would have guessed, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I thought it was weight, lifting weights or something, but who knows?
my
But
least
seriously,
favorite, but I do it.
there you go. So tell my audience, how did you stumble upon juicing?
So in my 20s, I was really sick. My bad lifestyle, eating habits caught up with me early on. I had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, and it was so bad I had to quit my job, move back home, sleep 12 hours a day, feel awful, like I had the flu all the time. And I thought, this is a horrible way of existence. No doctor had any hope for me, but to manage maybe how I felt with some drugs, said maybe it's all in my head. I knew that wasn't true. So I went to a health food store and heard about juicing. I bought my first juicer, went on a 5-day juice fast where I just drank lots of juices for 5 days. And my body was cleansing during that time. At the end of that 5 days, my body expelled a tumor about the size of a golf ball with some blood vessels attached. Boy, that got my attention really fast. And I thought, whoa, this is pretty powerful. I'll be well tomorrow. That wasn't the case. I was on a journey. And this is what I tell everybody. When you're on a juicing and lifestyle change journey, changing your diet, starting to juice, you have maybe some wonderful days, some days that aren't so great as your body's getting rid of those toxins, it's rebuilding. But I did the climb. I call it up the hill, 2 or 3 steps up, maybe a step or 2 back occasionally. But one day I woke up, it was 3 months into my program of juicing and eating healthy. And I got rid of all junk, all sugar, all bad stuff, all dairy, no junk food, just like a perfect diet, lots and lots of vegetables, lots and lots of vegetable juices. And I woke up one morning, early for me was 8 a.m. I can't imagine that now because I get up much earlier. But I was so depleted then and worn down. But I got up at 8 a.m. without an alarm and thought, somebody gave me a new body last night. I feel like $1 million. And I looked so different. I had color in my face. I didn't look washed out like I had. And I called it a cure. Not exactly the best word, because cure to me said you do this and this and this until you get well, and they just go on living, right? So I thought, well, I can go back. back to California, to my friends, to my lifestyle, pizzas and burgers, meeting friends. And my symptoms started rolling back into my life. And it scared the living daylights out of me because your health is priceless. Once you experience good health, you don't ever want to lose it. And when you feel like you've had it, you've grasped it, and then you're starting to lose it, it's frightening. It dawned on me, this is beyond a cure. This has to be a lifestyle. Oh no. And that's where it came in, dealing with those addictions to sugar. Sugar is very, very addictive. And I was a sugarholic. And just the mental addiction of, oh yeah, I want to go out with friends and have pizzas, and I want to have a cheeseburger and fries, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And I realized I can't do that. I've got to have a different way of life. And you can do it. And you can find a way. And I found a way. You can go out with your friends, you can have fun, but you can eat healthy. You can make good choices wherever you go. And that's where I hit a stride. It was ups and downs, but I found a place where I could live with this and eat this way and juice every day and wake up feeling great every day and not be sick. That's my
Okay, so
story.
that leads me to the next question, right? Because as you were talking, like my wheels were kind of turning in my head here, because I can imagine my audience just kind of thinking, wow, there's so much that's kind of left on the table. But so for one, the first thing I want to talk about is juicing every day. So what does that really look like? Does that mean that you just get up and you just drink juice all the time? Or give us an example of what that is.
I eat real food too. I juice and I eat real food, but I do start my day with juice. And there are so many combinations that are delicious and wonderful. I encourage everyone juice more vegetables than fruit. Most people do not metabolize sugar as well as they could. And it's probably the sugar-laden diet that many of us have grown up with, right? And so keep the sugars on the lower side, but you can sweeten your juice with an apple, a pear, maybe a little bit of the sweeter fruit like pineapple if you can tolerate it. Diabetics shouldn't. People with hypoglycemia, low blood sugar should not. People with yeast problems, candidiasis, it's known as, really should keep those fruit sugars very, very low, and only, low sugar fruit, berries or green apple. But the rest of the population can kind of play around with, where's your stride? What do you do best on? But we all thrive on vegetables. So juice, lots of greens. I like to start my day with celery juice. Celery is just an amazing thing to juice. It was kind of a craze for a while, like everybody was on to celery juice and starting their morning with 16 ounces of it. And then kind of dropped off a bit. It wasn't the rage at juice bars and people, running around drinking their celery juice every morning, but it's marvelous. I looked up studies on it, and it isn't just a craze. It is a truth that there are studies that show it lowers blood pressure, it lowers blood sugar, it lowers cholesterol. And I had one lady I worked with who lowered liver enzymes that were elevated, and she lowered all the others too. It's really a marvelous vegetable that for a while early on, many of us who are nutritionists, and that's my degree, thought, oh, it was just full of water. It was a low-cal vegetable. It was a great thing to scoop up that dip with at parties. And now we know it's just loaded with also cancer-fighting nutrients. Apigenin and luteolin are two phytonutrients in it that fight cancer. So it's a great, great way to start your day. And if you say, oh, I can't stand the taste of just celery by itself, add a squeeze of lemon, or do something to jazz it up for yourself. If you can drink it down plain, which I don't really like it, but I go 1, 2, 3, we're doing this, and down we go. I do it plain. And then I make a combo of juices after that. I've different vegetables to juice. I often use carrots, wonderfully rich in beta carotene. Valcarcinol is a phytonutrient in there that's been shown in studies to fight cancer. So I always get several carrots in. I either get a zucchini or a cucumber because they have lots of water in them. And that's wonderful to see, because when you're trying to get a big glass of juice, you want something that's going to give you a lot of juice for your money to mix with everything else. I always put in some greens, maybe it's spinach or chard or kale, parsley, something dark green, dark leafy green to get in there. Those are just your hearty, rich vegetables that have so many nutrients to offer you. You can put in an apple to sweeten. That's what most people like very well, and it's lower sugar. I always put in a chunk of ginger root. I love the spice of ginger, so I do more than a 1-inch chunk. I do about a 2 or 3-inch chunk because I love that spice. But ginger is excellent to get in because it's an anti-inflammatory, proven in scientific studies, and it's rich in zinc. And zinc is wonderful for your immune system. And we all need to beef up our immune systems these days with these weird viruses and bugs that are going around. We need strong immunity. So I add zinc, I add ginger to everything that I make nearly. And then if you can find fresh turmeric, which I can most of the time at my health food store, or it's a health market kind of store, Sprouts, it's known as in our area. I add a chunk of fresh turmeric. And there are over 6,000 studies on turmeric and all its amazing properties, like anti-inflammatory properties and cancer-fighting properties, and on it goes. But that's kind of my morning blend. Many times I'll pour that then in a blender and add an avocado and make what I call a vegetable smoothie, but it's delicious, really delicious. So you can do that if you want something extra to go on, not just juice. And many times also I'll do a citrus blend first thing, lemon and lime. You can add maybe half an orange to that and some garlic. That doesn't sound maybe like it tastes so good, but it actually is really delicious. And it's a good cleanser for the liver. And I often pour that in a blender and add a little bit of olive oil, ice, a little bit of water, mix that all up. And it's like a frothy, delicious shake. It's amazing. My husband loves it. I make that in the morning. So that's kind of what our morning looks like. And then it depends on if I go down to the gym, maybe I'll come back and make I have a 6-grain cereal that I often make as well.
Awesome. So am I then hearing that you have a morning routine of your, and it sounds like you rotate them, right? So you don't
I
necessarily do
do.
the same thing every time. Then you
Right.
have like a day or daytime afternoon one, and it depends on like whether you work out or not with shake. I'm wondering this: if you were to say to work out at it, because we know that training, especially weightlifting, creates inflammation in the body. So do you aim for more like a shake that's more anti-inflammatory?
I do. And I try to make sure every day I get some of that. And so you're wonderful. Well, it's all going to fight inflammation. I mean, our vegetables and our fruit are great, but the real fighters are your ginger and your turmeric. If you can't find fresh turmeric, you can get the powder and just, put a little bit, sprinkle a little bit in your juice and stir it up. But those are wonderful anti-inflammatory. Also hibiscus. Now we're not into juice, but hibiscus tea has been shown in studies to be anti-inflammatory, and it's delicious. It adds a little tartness, sweetness, and you can make refrigerator hibiscus iced tea. Just put some hibiscus tea bags in a pitcher of water and put it in your fridge and drink a glass or two of that every day as well. So those are your great anti-inflammatory ones. And then broccoli has also been shown to be anti-inflammatory. So broccoli is marvelous. It's a cruciferous vegetable. It's rich in a lot of phytonutrients that fight inflammation and fight cancer.
So let's say, like, do you have like a third juice, maybe like later on in the evening, say like a 3 time, like how often a day do you normally juice?
It sure depends on the day, like for all of us, right? How busy are you? How busy am I? I have a favorite one that I serve here, and I serve it to guests often. It's my icy spicy gazpacho, and I love it before dinner. I juice up carrot and lemon, and you want about 2 cups of that. So you want about 5 or 6 carrots and a half to a full lemon peeled. And then I pour that in a blender. I add a big handful of cilantro and a dash of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, the hot peppers are also help you fight inflammation. I add a pinch of sea salt, and where the icy comes in, I freeze tomatoes. So I often cut up a couple of tomatoes in chunks, put them in the freezer, and then when I'm ready to make this, pull that out. You can put them in baggies. So about 2 chopped up tomatoes will be right for 1 serving. You dump that in your blender, turn it on, and you want to blend it just until it's nice and slushy. And then you pour it in I pour them in wine goblets. And everybody loves it. It is so delicious. And it's offering so much to our bodies as well. All of the vitamin C, the beta carotene, the anti-inflammatory properties, and the lycopene from tomatoes, which is great to fight cancer. And vitamin C is also rich in tomatoes. And cilantro, this is really interesting. It is a good heavy metal detoxifier. So especially mercury and aluminum, and talk about 2 metals that really interfere with our health. And you and I have been talking before the show started about weight loss. If we get too many heavy metals and our levels go a little higher than they should, it can really, really interfere with weight loss. So we want to get those heavy metals under control, probably never get them all out of our system, but we can get them down, levels down, things under control. And so that's why I like to juice or blend up with something like the juices and the cilantro in my blender, and do cilantro in a lot of things, because it really does bind up and remove heavy metals.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but when we have our bodies like to store heavy metals in fat, adipose tissue, especially white adipose tissue. So that's one of the reasons when we start to lose fat, right? Start to lose body fat, especially the white adipose tissue, we start to feel sick, because a lot of those toxins end up dumped into our bloodstream. So it's kind of icky. We don't feel too well for a little while. You kind of got to get over that phase, right? But that's something that we have to realize, like literally when we have a lot of toxins in our body, it makes it biologically harder for our body to get rid of fat. So that's why detoxing and juicing and habits like these are so important for you. But then, Sherry, I have first of all, I want to ask again, because you have a fantastic book here. The recipes that you're talking about, they are described in your book, correct?
They are. I have a whole variety of recipes, and the book you just held up is my A to Z guide. So you look up what is bothering you at the time, from acne, cancer, high cholesterol, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia that I talked about earlier, on and on. You look up the ailment, and I've got the juices, the diet, the nutrients, and I tried to base as much of it on as I could on studies that help those conditions. And when I found nutrients that help those conditions, then I found the vegetables that were highest in those nutrients and created juice recipes around it.
Love it. Love it.
Um,
Question for you then. When you juice, do you juice with the skin in? Do you recommend a particular juicer? What's your thought there?
So let's go with the skin first. I take the skin off lemons and limes and oranges, all the citrus. You don't have to off of lemons and limes. You do have to off of oranges and grapefruits, because there are oils in there. They're not good for you in high quantity. But lemons and limes, I usually don't find organic. So I want to, that's where they spray them. Most of the spray is on the skin. So I just shave off the outer peel. I leave that white pithy part as much as you can. That's where your concentration of vitamin C and bioflavonoids are, and then juice that up. If you go to ewg.org, that's Environmental Working Group .org, they have the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And those are the Dirty Dozen are the most heavily sprayed. They're the thin skin things like berries and grapes and plums and, and the leafy greens like spinach and chard. And you'll find the worst offenders that you should always buy organic. But down in the Clean 15, hardly any spray on those. And you don't always have to buy organic. Well, lemons come in, they're above Clean 15, but not that far above. So it's hard to find organic lemons and limes first off, and then they're quite expensive. And a lot of people say, wow, this is way out of my budget. So just peel them and then juice them. And then you ask me, what juicer do I recommend? I have said this for years in my lectures. I'm going to tell you the best juicer on the face of the earth. It's the one you'll use every day. So, people are always trying to sell us something, and everybody's got their list of, what their juicer does and how perfect it is and all the wonderful features of it. There's some that, in theory, it's wonderful, but it's hard to clean, hard to use. You probably won't stick with it. It might have cost $1,000 and be gorgeous, but I don't know how you feel about time in the kitchen, but I am busy and I don't have a lot of time. Like some people say, oh, I got this one that, it had every bell and whistle and it's supposed to be perfect and it's cold pressed, but it took me 20 minutes to clean it. And I can't do that. They say, well, I understand because I can't either. I have found one that is fast, easy to clean, and you don't have to stand there and go like this. It's the Nama J2, and it has 2 chambers. You cut up your veggies, put them in the upper chamber, turn it on and walk away. I mean, this is a time saver because I do this every day. I walk away and I'm either cleaning up the kitchen, prepping for something else. But I mean, you've got time. You can do something else. And then what about cleanup? I would say you want something you can clean in 1 to 2 minutes. The Nama J2, you can clean that in 1 to 2 minutes. And so I just rinse it off right away. Or if I'm running out the door and you may say, I want a juice in the morning, but I just don't have much time. Put it in the sink, soak it, soak all your parts, get them down in the water, your soapy water, and let it soak. And then as soon as you get home, clean it up. But at least it's not going to dry on there, right? So if you've got to run out the door, there's an emergency, soak your juicer parts. But let me give you a code where you can get 10% off, $55 off. And that's Juice Lady. That simple, just like one word, Juice Lady.
Perfect. And I was writing it down because I'm going to make sure that link is in the show notes. And the show notes are going to be ezekiel.com/juice lady. We're going to address that again towards the end because, of course, the show notes are going to be in the description of the episode. But so I was trying to type that real quick as she was talking there at the end. So I'll make sure there, the discount code, everything that one need is there and easily accessible. So you can start your life with juicing. But at this point, I'm going to stop for a second because we have some more stuff to talk about, like cholesterol and liver and all that wonderful stuff, right? So I'm going to pick Sherry's brain. But before I do that, I got to talk about one of my favorite companies, and I got to talk about the Amino Co., right? See, they have Heal, which is 100% science-backed essential amino acid formulation designed to reduce recovery times and improve physical function by accelerating muscle repair while helping you maintain a healthy inflammatory response. And we just been talking about inflammation, right? And we talked about working out. I purposely asked her about working out, right? Because when we work out, our body creates inflammation. Well, one of the ways of relieving that inflammation, helping us to better recover, is by getting enough protein, but not just getting enough protein, but getting essential aminos, right? But what I love about Heal is not only does it have a fantastic blend of essential, not just branched chain aminos, but it has essential aminos. Plus, it has creatine, and creatine has been studied for so many mental and physical benefits. I mean, creatine has been around and been used forever, and it has so many benefits for us. And it also has whey protein concentrate. So how I use Heal, to be honest with you, I drink it as an intro workout. Because when your boy is training, your boy goes hard in the paint, right? So I need something to get me through that second half of the workout. So I use it as an intro workout. So when I'm low on energy, when I feel like I need that push to finish up, Heal is what does it for me. Another way you can drink it is to help you to recover post-workout. In fact, it was initially designed for NASA astronauts to help them to maintain muscle mass in space. Because yes, food is number one, and habits like juicing, those things are very important. But we have to understand that our body needs to supplement from time to time. And a lot of people need to supplement from time to time. If your diet is together and you need that extra supplementation of like essential aminos and creatine and whey protein concentrate, stuff like that can be really, really good for you. So check out Heal. And something else I love about the Amino Co is that they have all natural flavors too. So check out, some of, those are ones that I recommend when you go on their website and you want to pick up some essential aminos from them. You can look and find the all natural flavors. To be honest, those are the only ones that I drink, and everybody knows that. And I drink them practically every day, right? But there's also a study, was a clinical research, and they compared 1 and 2 scoops of Heal with high quality whey protein, right? And they measured the net balance whole protein synthesis and breakdown. And the response to Heal was found to be 4 times larger than whey protein on a gram to gram basis. 4 times larger. And you know why? Because a lot of protein have a lot of fillers and all these extra things that your body have to break down that you have to detox from later. Versus when you're just getting the essential aminos and you're getting your creatine and you're getting your whey protein concentrate, your body can use it immediately. I mean, it's just broken down for your body to use it when needed. Game changer. So the website is aminoco.com/ecohealth. Click on it. You get 30% off their fantastic products. Heal and also Perform, which I talk about a lot as well, and I definitely use. And because, I try to be a nice guy, I'll make sure that the link is in the description of the episode. And with that being said, back to the matter at hand, because I still want to talk about juicing. Let's talk about some of the benefits here, Sherry, right? So first I want to talk about, and you hit on these when we initially spoke, you talk about liver. You talk about the kidney, sorry. So what are some of the benefits of juicing for the kidney?
Oh, it keeps kidneys flushed, especially if you juice some cranberries. Excellent for the kidneys. You can't find them fresh year round, but what I like to do when they come on the scene, I like to buy some and then freeze them, or you can find frozen and thaw them out, add them to your juices, but just flushing your body of toxins, that's going to help the kidneys. Celery is quite good for the kidneys as well. And keep those kidneys flushed. Plenty of water and your wonderful vegetable juices are going to be great for the kidneys. And then the liver, oh goodness, I want to talk about the liver for a moment, because we talked about weight loss, we've talked about health and the storing of toxins. The liver likes to store things. It just likes to store junk. So heavy metals and all of the toxins, the chemicals from our environment, our soil, our water, our air, and the junk that we eat. And most people eat some junk from time to time. I probably get one of the smallest portions going because I don't eat much, but a lot of people just say, oh yeah, occasionally I have some. We need to get all of this junk out of our system, out of our liver. And so it is very important to take time occasionally to do a liver cleanse. So in the book that you have, you held up, The Juice Lady's Guide to Juicing for Health, in the back, I do have a 7-day liver cleanse. It involves a variety of juices. I use beet juice in a lot of things. Beets have been used naturopathically for many, many years to cleanse and support the liver. I also add in the herb milk thistle, which is very, very good and supportive and cleansing for the liver. It's an herb you can find in almost any health food store in capsule form. And then different shakes and juices and soups for the week. And of course, you can add in other foods. It's usually good if you can go mostly vegan that week to give your liver a rest. That would be very, very helpful. And I have a beet salad as well that you eat through several times a day that day for 7 days. And I have a carrot salad that you eat once at dinner. And the dressing is olive oil and lemon juice. I add a dash of cinnamon. That just, to me, picks up the flavor tremendously. I have that garlic citrus shake, which is very cleansing for the liver and gallbladder, starting the morning with that. And a potassium broth soup, which is very, very cleansing for the body, and then different green juices and drinks that you have throughout the day. And as I said, you can certainly add more food to that: steamed vegetables, brown rice, quinoa, different things like that. It's just a wonderful week of cleansing and supporting the liver. So many people have come to me throughout the years and said, I was doing great on this weight loss program, whatever it was, low carb or different juices. I have a sipping skinny program where one meal is juicing and then two others are very good, healthy meals. But hitting a plateau, boom, all of a sudden they say, lose weight anymore. I'm just stuck. What do you think's going on? What can I do? Every time that I've said, do a liver cleanse, it has moved things forward, sparked up the metabolism. When your liver is processing everything, all your blood goes through the liver every day. It circulates through the liver. The liver has got to cleanse all of that. When it's sluggish, when it's all beaten down, bad fats, sugars, high fructose corn syrup, all of that is horrible for the liver. It gets sluggish. Then your metabolism gets sluggish and you do not lose weight. And that's when so many ladies have said to me, I'm hardly eating anything, I'm down to maybe 1,000 or 1,200 calories and I'm still not losing anything. So think about a liver cleanse. It can be so very, very beneficial for you.
I've worked with thousands of people over the years who come to me and have explained very same situation. They're like, look, I've done everything I can. My calories are cut down to whatever, and I just can't seem to lose weight. And of course, I'm not the juicing expert, but what I usually find with those individuals is they have an underlying health issue. They have a very unhealthy, inflexible metabolism. And now juicing can't really help with the metabolism piece necessarily as far as flexibility, but it can definitely, well, indirectly it can, but it definitely can help with underlying health issues. That's the big thing that we need to focus on there. And when you have the liver, that's like one of the powerhouse organs in your body. It's responsible for so many different functions, and it's bogged down handling things that it doesn't need to, too much toxins. Juicing, helping to rid your body of those things can really, really move things along. And you combine that with a lifestyle or a diet that helps you to regain your health of your metabolism, or if you have an underlying health issue, you work on that with a naturopathic doctor or a dietitian or whatever the case may be, a nutritionist or so on and so forth. And bam, because like something Sherry brought up in the beginning, she didn't just juice and said, okay, I'm cured and let me go back to eating pizza and burgers. She realized, oh, these symptoms were coming back, right? I had to get my body and keep my body in tip top shape. And something else that, and you talk about the cravings with juice early and sugars, because I'm from an island where we juice a lot naturally, right? I'm born and raised in Jamaica, but we do make some mistakes with that. And first of all, our generation has gotten further and further away from juicing. But I think that some of the mistakes that I'm seeing is that they're missing the point of juicing quite often. And they're starting to add, they think they need to drink more sweets, right? They're like, oh, it's natural sugar, so I'm fine. Okay, well, sugar is sugar. Yes, there is some definition in between, but at the end of the day, sugar is sugar, right? So you want to limit your sugar. So if you're juicing, but your juices are extremely sweet, you're still not doing it right, right? So, and that's why, again, getting the book, checking out the recipes and learning proper ways to juice, along with getting the right juicer that can make your life so much easier, can be really beneficial, because now you're learning from an expert and not just, hey, let me just make this sweet juice and I'll be fine. Because that's why, like V8, that's a juice. Would I be drinking V8? Heck no. So there you go. So, so just because it's a juice doesn't mean that, hey, it's good. I think V8s have like 40 grams of sugar each or something crazy.
Not a salt. Yeah.
Right. Stuff like that. Right. It's not the same as properly making your juice. I really want to think about that. But, enough of me ranting, because I want to talk about one more big topic before we get out of here. And it's cholesterol, because a lot of people struggle with cholesterol. That's really a big topic of today. So what are some of the possible health benefits of juicing when it comes to cholesterol?
Oh my goodness. You can lower your cholesterol by juicing, and especially celery. And that's proven in scientific studies. Cholesterol will be lowered. It has been lowered with juicing celery. Can't promise you the moon with this, but it's helped many, many people. Let me say that. And so, but you want a big glass. You don't want just a little one. You want a big glass of celery juice and juice the leaves. They're richest in those marvelous phytonutrients. And then all the other juices can be helpful, especially the ones that are particularly good for the liver, because our cholesterol is made in our liver. And we want a well-functioning liver. Oftentimes, as people do, I'm back to the liver cleanse again, but as people do a liver cleanse, they will notice their cholesterol has come down. So it has been very, very helpful to do the liver cleanse. So then we're back to our beet juice and carrot juice and the different greens and the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbage. And yes, you can juice all of those. If you get them in the right combinations, it's going to taste okay. It's not going to be horrible, but that's where juice can come in and be very, very helpful. And then if you supplement your diet with high fiber vegetables, and again, we're back to the cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, those are all very high in fiber. So you're saying, wow, it's like an oxymoron. First, you're taking out the fiber, you're juicing, and now we're putting it in. Well, we want it all. Juice is a supplement to your diet. It's a wonderful addition. Your cells can take up those nutrients easily, quickly, like a pre-digested food, but you also want vegetables and you want that fiber in your diet as well. So you want some raw vegetables, some lightly steamed vegetables in your diet each day as well. And now you've got a great combination because that fiber is also going to bind to cholesterol and carry it out of your body so that you don't have so much circulating cholesterol.
I love that. Exactly. And I like how you explain like in a pre-digested state. It's just like what I was just talking about with the essential aminos. I mean, yes, it's broken down from protein, but when you get the actual essential aminos and creatine that's already in a pre-digested state, your body can use it. And that's the same thing with juices. Your body can use it because it's already broken down. But again, that's why it's dangerous to go out there and to buy all these juices out there that have all this sugar and stuff that's already broken down, because you're then overloading your body with a lot of things that it really doesn't need. So again, buy the book, learn this stuff, and start adding juices, even if it's at a slow pace. It's just for breakfast for now. And then later on, you can try to, as you get better with it, say, let's do some for lunch. And then eventually it becomes a lifestyle and it's 3 times a day. But then you're also adding in your vegetables in your diet and you're eating more protein. So you're getting good, healthy protein, organic, grass-fed, grass-finished food into your diet. I mean, there's so many things that we can do to take our health back and also start to trim off some of that body fat. Because I always say this, you don't lose weight to get healthy. People think you lose weight to get healthy. You can lose all the weight you want and still be unhealthy. You don't lose weight to get healthy. You get healthy to lose weight. And juicing is one of those habits that can get you there. Now, with that being said, again, the show notes are going to be zekehealth.com/juice-lady. And her contact information will be in the show notes, and the show notes will be in the description of the episode, along with the juice, I already forgot its name, and the discount that you can, and her discount code will be all in the show notes so you can get it. But other than that, Sherry, let my audience know, how can they learn more about your work? How can get in touch with you? And whatever you say, I'll put those in the show notes as well.
Marvelous. So it's Nama J2, Nama, capital J2. That's the juicer. And you can follow me on Instagram. That's where Zico found me, because I always have juice reels coming out, and mine are not just all fruit. Most of the juice reels you see are nearly all fruit, but mine are lots of vegetables, little bit of fruit, at Juice Lady Sherry, Cherie, and follow me on Instagram. And then my website is juiceladyinfo.com. So again, juiceladyinfo.com. And you can sign up for my news. Twice a week, I have news coming out with recipes, sometimes studies, health tips, and events going on. And I have a juice retreat coming up in September for those that want hands-on and you want to come and experience a week of juicing with me in Arizona, beautiful Carefree, Arizona, in the Phoenix area. It's September 24 to 28, and I'd love to have you join me.
Perfect. And again, all that information will be in the show notes, will also be in the description of the episode. I want to say one last thing before we gotta get out of here, because we're talking about all this stuff about juicing, and we're talking about vegetables a lot. And I interviewed someone recently that mentioned that most Americans don't eat enough bitters, right? And if people don't realize that vegetables, they're not sour. I'm not talking about sour. Like the vegetables have more of a tang, like a bitter taste to them, which is
Mhm.
very good for your body. But because we've had such a lifestyle of sweets, and all this processed sugar, we have a lot of bad bacteria, because remember, we're mostly bacteria than we are human, to be honest. So we have a lot of bad bacteria in our gut, which causes a lot of gut issues, right? So when we add more bitters into our diet, we actually are feeding the good bacteria and promoting the growth of a healthy ecosystem in our gut. And that's another way juicing can get it, because yes, adding vegetables in our diet, like Sherry said, is extremely important. But because we had such a bad lifestyle, we need to kind of push it along. And juicing is one of those ways of getting your body a lot more of those nutrients has been missing for a very, very long time. So again, check out our information. Check out the show notes, learn more about this stuff, and add juicing to your life. And this is why I wanted this episode today. So, Sherry, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, fam.